Faceless Reels became one of the biggest Instagram trends in 2024, and it's a great way to create more low-lift content, but quickly turned into a flood of mediocre, repetitive, and dull content that attracts no one. In today's video, I'll show you how to create Faceless Reels to attract new followers, build an engaged community, and to turn them into paying clients. This video is kindly sponsored by HubSpot, but more on them a little later. I'm Natalia, and I help you create better content and grow on social media, so let's do this. I want to quickly explain why the current way of creating Faceless Reels will get you nowhere, but if you'd rather go straight to the ideas, then skip to this moment. If you scroll the Instagram Reels feed even a little, you'll quickly find a video or two that use the same generic approach, slapping some aesthetic stock B-roll under a bit of text, often saying read more in the caption in an attempt to grab attention. These videos may seem like they're getting more than an average amount of views simply because they're often just a few seconds long. While it may be easy to create, this method rarely builds a loyal audience, not to mention the creators often sell courses that teach this exact same method of creating Faceless accounts. It then leads us all into some Instagram pyramid scheme looking hellscape. All the accounts look the same, all have the same messaging, there's no personality to the brands and no uniqueness, which means there's no real connection with the followers. If you're serious about content creation and making your business work online, then you want to build a community and drive sales. And how do you do it? By building a strong strategy, showcasing what your brand stands for, and tailoring your content to your audience. By the way, this video teaches you exactly how to do it, so you can watch it next. But is it even possible without showing your face? Although I'll be the first one to say that being on camera is the best way to be unique and to make your personality shine, you can still be strategic and get engagement and results with Faceless Reels. Besides, I'm not shunning them completely because they're a great way to ease into video content, and it's definitely a quicker way to create it too. The key here is to work on your messaging and still sneak in loads of brand personality, and I'll explain exactly how with these ideas. The first one is to create your own B-roll. One of the best time-saving tips for creating engaging Faceless Reels or any other video content for that matter is to document your everyday tasks by recording your own B-roll clips. Instead of relying on the same generic stock footage that everyone else uses, build your own personal library. This could be as simple as setting up your phone on a tripod and recording yourself going about your daily activities, whether it's making coffee, organizing your workspace, planning your day, or even working on client projects. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you don't have to be shown on camera much. It's enough to show your hands, maybe a part of your silhouette, but you definitely don't have to capture all of you, your face included. Having a collection of pre-recorded clips on hand gives you a backlog of material that you can use to fill in gaps in your own content. You can edit these clips into Reels, overlay them with text for mini vlogs, or use them as backgrounds for quotes, for tutorials, and stories. The beauty of capturing these everyday moments is that it cuts down on the need for intensive planning. Instead of spending hours on brainstorming and creating visuals, you're simply recording real-life snippets that you can later translate into content. This approach also helps create a more authentic, more relatable vibe for your audience, since it's unique to you and shows glimpses of your process or your daily life. This works much better and builds a deeper connection with your community. If you use stock footage, people can see through it since they've probably seen the same couch or the same desk a million times over, and visually it's just harder to relate to it as a viewer. Now, building your own library of B-roll content can be fantastic in and of itself because you can use it with simple text overlays or create any of the next ideas I'll be covering in here using this footage too. Now, if you're an educator or a coach of any kind, you can use screen recordings to avoid showing your face, but still provide loads of value to your audience. For digital products like courses or templates, screen recordings are gold, but it goes beyond that since educating your audience is one of the most incredible ways to build engagement and offer tangible results and quick wins to your community. This is what I do the majority of the time here on YouTube and elsewhere, of course, as well. And it led me to where I am today with such an incredible community, which I'm super grateful for. Of course, I show my face in here, but you can see in my other content that it's not always the case. With my example, I record short and actionable Canva tutorials or quick tips for other tools like Descript, which serves as general educational content. But you could educate around your own product too. I have a free content marketing strategy workbook, and I could easily screen record a mini tutorial on how to use it, saying something like, build your own marketing strategy in 15 minutes with a call to action at the very end to download it for for free, which of course you can do to yourself. And this is so important. By educating your audience in some of your content, they feel like they get something tangible from it and are more likely to come back. Now, it also drives engagement because one, people are genuinely happy about learning something new from you, so they often express it in the comments or DMs. Two, they tend to come back to see if there's more knowledge on your profile. And three, it often generates questions they may need answering, and this translates to more comments and more DMs too. This can really help in fostering connections, and it's far, far more powerful than just slapping some text over generic aesthetic stock B-roll. If you want to know how to really attract your ideal audience through your content and build a truly engaged community, then I suggest you check out the 2024 State of Marketing Report. There's a link for you down in the description to download it for free. Now, you can keep posting consistently on social media, but without really understanding the people you create that content for, chances are you're not going to get the results you want. This report is such a useful resource because it shows you how to connect with your audience and goes deep into the trends and challenges in marketing. It's packed with actionable tips, highlights key takeaways, and shares insights to help you create effective content that consistently delivers results. What I love about it the most is this section on social media talking about the value of social search and social selling. There's also a section on AI that shows you how to use it to save time, freeing up your creativity, and how to use it to get better data on your audience. This report was made by HubSpot, who's kindly sponsoring this video, so a massive thank you to them for supporting the channel and bringing us such awesome tools. Talking about great outcomes, nothing inspires people to buy more than adding some social proof, and Faceless Reels are amazing for showing your clients results. Now, the way people think about it is just by throwing in some testimonials, but I think it's much more powerful if you think outside the box. With permission from the client, of course, you could screenshot a part of your conversation, highlighting how happy the client is, and then overlay it on some peaceful B-roll of typing on a laptop or a phone, reading, putting flowers in a vase, you name it. It's great if it somehow connects to your brand's personality and maybe even the color palette that you use. You could also show before and after. So for example, if you're an Instagram coach, you could show the change in your client's profile before and after working with them. We're always trying to highlight the transformation that you provided for the client, either emotionally with how much better they feel in their new reality, or tangibly with the proven results that they got. Now, remember, all your social proof needs to be proven, so it has to be real. In case of a check from, say, FTC, it is your responsibility to verify it and provide evidence that your claim is true. Now, as an example, if you say a particular client got results in 3 months, you have to have screenshots or maybe snippets of their analytics on file, again, all with their permission, to prove that it was the case. Not only this, but the presented results should be average, meaning it's typical for all your clients to get results like this and not just to showcase the extraordinary outcomes. Amber from The Boutique Lawyer talks about it a lot, so I highly recommend you check out her posts to make sure that everything you do is absolutely legal. Now, you could also do mini case studies of your clients, adding separate visuals for the before, the solution, and the after, showing interesting data with animated charts and maybe bullet points with some key takeaways. Now, speaking of showcasing your results, I love watching Reels with work in progress from creators. This is highly engaging and immerses the audience in the experience of what your business does. Besides, it lets your potential clients see the work that goes into creating your product or service, which in turn builds trust. People are much more likely to buy when they understand the process behind what they're purchasing, and it helps humanize your brand without showing your face. It's all about transparency and authenticity in here. Whether you're designing for a fun brand, whether you're renovating a piece of furniture for a client, or mapping out a service plan after the consultations, work in progress videos are great for stirring curiosity and bringing potential clients closer to your brand. And again, all of it can be recorded without ever showing your face on camera. Now, apart from this, you could also build anticipation for a product launch or a new service offer by creating a teaser reel or a countdown using a mixture of text overlays and some engaging video clips from the evolution. In the same vein, just as showing the process builds trust, giving your audience a peek into your day through a day in the life mini vlog makes you feel more relatable and sparks curiosity. And you don't have to show your face to do this at all. It can be created with a bunch of POV shots which are still immersive enough to help them imagine how it feels to have a day like this. If you work with theme days where you dedicate a whole day to a specific set of activities, this may be an interesting perspective on how you organize your life, which may be both inspiring and informative. You can try capturing moments from your morning routine through some key tasks you're ticking off or interesting meetings, but don't shy away from showing a bit of your personality too, since what you do after work matters too. It humanizes you when you show your hobbies, share your drink of choice, what you like to do in your downtime. As a fun addition, you can overlay timestamps for each activity, like 7 a.m. hot girl walk, 10 a.m. creative meeting, 2 p.m. prep for consultations. You get the drill. It builds a personal connection without the need for you to actually be on camera. Although it's easy to feel like your days are similar, especially if you work from home, there's always something interesting you can find to make it a focus of a mini vlog like this. For example, if you get a parcel you've been waiting for, you could do a little unboxing. Other fun ideas for a mini vlog themes are focusing on your tech stack, prepping for a webinar or training, behind the scenes of a content shoot, or highlighting how you take creative breaks from your work. It's all a matter of perspective, and our lives always seem a lot more mundane to us than to others. By the way, as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking I could record a video for you that would show the process of creating reels like this. So let me know in the comments down below if this is something that you would find interesting, that would help you, and that you'd like to watch. Now, don't forget that repurposing is also a thing. Of course, lifestyle videos are very engaging, so it's worth having them as part of your content plan, but they're not the only option, especially when you're just starting out with video content. First, you could try animating a simple post. Canva has a bunch of cool animation options, so just by adding an animated sticker or making elements appear at different times can create motion, which means you can publish it as a video. I'm sure you've already seen videos like this in your feed. So there's also a super simple way to create a video by screenshotting your notes app, your threads, or your tweets and popping them on top of some sort of footage. Apart from that, you could create a few slides listing things like the highlights of your best work, your best-selling products, a new collection, some useful tips. And if you've watched other Canva creators, you might have seen some reels sharing their favorite fonts, like this one from my amazing friend Jules, who is also a Canva Verified Expert. In addition, carousels are also a fabulous post type to repurpose into a reel. For some, you can just resize as is and export them as a video. And for others, you could grab all the text and even the visuals and then again, pop them on top of some of your own or stock footage. This literally takes minutes. And even though they may not be the best performing posts, they still have the potential to open conversation, to educate your audience, and often they can be quite shareable too. And a great way to use faceless footage is to create a reel of a product in action or a product walkthrough. You can film a mix of close-ups and wider shots in natural settings to create a lifestyle vibe of how it feels to actually use it. This can then be combined to showcase the different features or steps involved in using it, or highlight how this product solves a problem. The key is to try and paint the picture of what the audience would get if only they had the product themselves. It's supposed to stir emotions and, paired with the copy, give clarity as to why they need it. In some cases, it can work for service-based entrepreneurs too. So for example, you can film your hands filling out a planner template or setting up a website for your client. Keep the camera on the action itself and not necessarily on you. This can also be done without the hands by just showing a mixture of shots that highlight the key features of the product. Then in editing, you can add a voiceover or just use text overlays, and don't forget about a strong call to action as always. And as creators, we want to position ourselves as the experts in our fields, or at the very least, someone further on the path that can provide guidance. A lot of us, myself included, have the tendency to hide behind our educational content without sharing the unique experiences and insights that came to us on our journey. And it's so important to share those because they have the power to position us as thought leaders in our niche. Pairing your brand stories and your one-of-a-kind observations with simple but relevant visuals is such a great way to connect with your audience on a much deeper, sometimes even emotional level. When you take a strong stance, when you talk about something slightly controversial but with courage and get vulnerable, you build a community that cares beyond just the simple tip they can get from you. They care about what you think and how the content that you share has such a meaningful impact on their lives. Remember that apart from themes and ideas, you can also try other fun and creative formats to make your faceless reels feel more more engaging and relatable. You could record a time lapse, do voiceover, create a stop motion animation, have fun with transitions, do a split screen with different types of shots. The possibilities are really endless, and all of these ideas for formats, for themes, and for goals can be treated as a mix and match to find the style that works for your brand personality. Don't be afraid to experiment, because this is how you discover what connects to your ideal audience and brings you results. And make sure to download the 2024 State of Marketing Report for free too, using the link below to get even more insights into trends and challenges in marketing. A massive thank you again to HubSpot for sponsoring today's video and supporting the channel. Now would be the perfect time to figure out your unique content marketing strategy, and you can learn how to do exactly that by watching this video right here. Hit that like button and subscribe for more useful content like this. It helps me bring more videos to you. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.